All right, everyone. So welcome. It's very good to have you here to practice yoga today. And let's start as we usually do with a little bit of pranayama, a little bit of breathing, and then we'll get into some movement and postures after that. So come on to your mat. Find a comfortable seat, whatever that might be for you. Let your shoulders and face relax. And then turn your attention inward, which means notice what you are feeling, thinking, and experiencing in this moment. Normally, throughout the day, we tend to focus outwardly and we have reactions to outward stimulus. So, for instance, if I'm driving my car and there's traffic, a reaction, very common reaction to that might be frustration or anger, impatience. When this happens, we often don't pay attention to the reaction itself. So in yoga, one of the big shifts or differences we want to make is now, instead of focusing on the traffic or the thing that is causing the stimulus that is causing me to react, I want to start to focus more on the reactions themselves. So, even as I just ask you to sit here and to be still, you might already be feeling a reaction, or you might be feeling the residual or leftover of a reaction from something that happened earlier in the day. Very, very common. So all I'm asking you to do is to notice whatever the reaction is that is happening now. With yoga, what we'd like is one day we turn inward and we just experience a deep sense of peace and joy. We feel a great sense of gratitude for just being here and being alive. I don't know about you, but before I started on my spiritual journey, this was not the case for me. If I were to turn inward, I would find a lot of turmoil, a lot of emotions and conflicting emotions, different thoughts. I felt like I was being pulled in a million different directions. I also felt like the future and the past were pulling my attention away from this moment. So if we experience these things, they don't make us a bad person. We shouldn't feel guilty if that's how we feel. I think sometimes people think that they need to feel calm in order to practice yoga. Usually we practice yoga so that we can feel calm. But the first step is just noticing, how do we actually feel at the start? However we feel at the start, we're likely to feel very different toward the end of the practice. See if you can allow yourself to feel what you're feeling with a sense of equanimity, knowing that it is temporary, and whether it's the practice or just a good night's sleep, in the future we will feel differently. This is also true if we are feeling good. We can rest assured that something in life will come along and challenge us at some point, and we will not feel quite so calm or peaceful as we do maybe right now. The important part is just allowing ourselves to notice it, whatever it is, giving ourselves permission to fully feel and experience what we are feeling and experiencing in the moment. From this inward attention, I'd like you to begin to deepen your breathing. You might start just by noticing your breath. And I want you to make sure you're breathing in and out through the nose. Then I'd like you to begin to deepen breathing from the bottom up in what we call 3 parts. So the belly fills with breath, you might say, then the chest, and then the ribs, and then the upper chest. And as you exhale, you just reverse that from the top down. The breath sort of squeezes out. Once you've established this nice three-part yogic breath, I'd like you to begin to create a soft sound that is created exactly like if you were fogging a mirror but keeping your mouth closed. Once again, we only breathe through the nose. And then finally, make sure that your inhales and your exhales are the same length of time. We don't want either the inhale or the exhale to be longer than the other, at least not during the main part of our practice. With our next exhale, let's transition into a tabletop position, so hands and knees. On the inhale, tailbone will lift, the belly will drop, and the crown of the head comes up. As we exhale, we tuck the tailbone, round the back, and the crown of the head comes down. This is primarily a warm-up for the spine and the muscles in the back and torso. So I recommend paying attention to these parts of your body as you move. How do they feel? And give them a good stretch. Once you feel that you've warmed up and woken up these parts of your body, come back to neutral, tuck the toes, lift the hips, and come up and back into a down dog. In this first down dog, let's pedal our feet back and forth and stretch out our limbs a bit. And then after you feel that you've done that adequately, come into your full expression of downward facing dog. In downward dog, I like to see the hands shoulder width, fingers spread wide, the four pads under the knuckles all firmly planted in the ground, the chest actively drawing toward the toes, feet, hip distance, and heels reaching toward the ground. As you hold this position, see if you can find a sense of equanimity, letting go of the idea of future and past, and fully opening your heart and your mind to this experience just as it is. With the next exhale, walk your feet toward the hands, coming into a ragdoll. In ragdoll, you might choose to grab the opposite elbow. You might nod or shake your head to loosen the neck, muscles in the neck and the shoulders. You might also choose to sway the hips, bend the knees one at a time or both together, or allow your torso to rock from side to side. Whatever you choose to do, notice why you're choosing to do it, and notice consciously the feedback that your body is giving you. Your body is constantly speaking to you in both subtle and not so subtle ways. And one of the things we'd like to learn with yoga practice is to listen to the body more closely, to hear the subtle voice of the body as well as its louder tones. Now, with the arms relaxed, we'll inhale and gradually roll ourselves up to standing. Stacking the ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. This is a good time to notice if you're holding any tension in your face, jaw, or shoulders, and if possible, to just simply release and relax that tension. Now, with the feet touching, on the next inhale, let's draw our arms up into standing back bend. Lengthening from the pubic bone through the chin. See if you can create an equal stretch along the entire front of the body. Notice if and how this has affected your breathing, your emotional state, as well as what's going through your mind. Inhale through center and exhale into forward fold. Bend the knees deeply, place the hands on the ground, and place the chest against the thighs. Then, keeping the chest on the thighs, straighten the legs until you feel a stretch in the back of the thighs. Bring the shoulders away from the ears and keep the shoulder blades firmly planted on the back. Try and deepen the stretch in the back of the thighs. The next inhale, come to your fingertips or take hands to the shins as you lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, plant the hands and step to the top of a push-up for plank pose. In plank, align the ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels into a straight line. Make sure the shoulders are engaged and that the hips are neither too low or too high. Let's drop our knees for the first push-up and focus on the arms. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, lower down halfway and feel the elbows are hugging the ribs. Create a right or 90-degree angle at the elbows. Hold for a breath, and with the next exhale, come the rest of the way down. On the inhale, press the tops of your feet and your hands into the mat and lift your head, neck, and chest. Let the neck be a natural extension of the spine. Keep the shoulder blades away from the ears, and again, integrate the shoulder blades onto your back. With the next exhale, lower back down, press back to tabletop, and then lift the hips into downward facing dog. Try taking a breath or two here, again, letting go of the idea of future and past, and just really embracing this moment with its challenges and in perhaps its joys. So that was a basic sun salutation, or in this class, what we'll refer to as a vinyasa. Now I'd like to show you a slightly more challenging version of the vinyasa. But feel free to do that basic version throughout the whole rest of the class. The next inhale, let's come to our toes and look between the hands. As we exhale, we step jump to the front edge of the mat. On the inhale, we come all the way up to standing back bend. And then grabbing the left wrist, as we exhale, we come into this position, which is the half moon. Just like in our back bend, what we're trying to do here is lengthen, you could say, from our heel through our wrist on the right side. There are two common mistakes that are made when doing this. One is to roll the right shoulder forward in an attempt to go further down. Similarly related, there's a tendency to collapse into the right side, or left side rather. So instead of doing that, keep that right shoulder back and keep the left waist long. Inhale back through center, switch wrists, and exhale to the other side. Again, focus more on lengthening rather than trying to drop down further. Open up the entire left side of your body and breathe into it. So you inhale, come back through center, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale to half lift and exhale again to the top of a push-up. As I mentioned earlier, if you would like to continue doing the vinyasas in the way that we covered in the first round, please feel free to drop your knees. However, for a little more challenge, keep your knees up, but do the same action in the arms. Take a deep breath, exhale halfway down. Inhale, straighten the arms and legs for what we call up dog. Otherwise, repeat the cobra that we did first time. Then exhale, try and lift your hips straight up and back into downward dog, rolling over both feet simultaneously. Otherwise, use tabletop to make that transition a little easier. Once again, take a moment here to breathe and to really drop into this moment. From here, let's inhale to our toes and look between the hands. As we exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of the mat. Inhale up to standing back bend, and then flow into Ardha Chandrasana on the exhale. Inhale back to center and exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center and exhale. Imagine you're sitting into a seat for chair pose, Utthita. This is a good time to remind ourselves to relax the face, jaw, shoulders, and the heart and the mind. When we do just enough, make just enough effort, life is joyful even when it is challenging or hard. So if you are suffering through this pose, then you are likely making excess effort, or you are resisting the experience in some way. If you can learn, and this is inner work, this has very little to do with what's going on outside of us. We can learn to soften and to relax into the experience and not to use excessive effort to do this, any more effort than is necessary. We can come to the point where we feel like we could hold this position all day long and be happy. Let's take a nice deep breath, and as we exhale, we release into the forward fold. On the inhale, we come to half lift, and if possible, on your exhale, step, jump, or float to the bottom of a push-up. Inhaling, come to the upward facing dog, and as you exhale, try putting in a push-up on your way out. Otherwise, go straight back or use tabletop to make the transition. From here, let's bring our feet to touch. We'll inhale the right leg up and back. Let's bend the knee and make some wide circles with the knee. Bring the knee out to the right and in toward the belly, then back behind you. Then reverse it and do a few in the opposite direction. Take a nice deep breath now, and as you exhale, place the foot between the hands. Drop the back knee down, and as you inhale, come up to low lunge Anjaneyasana. With Anjaneyasana, we're trying to stretch the front of the left hip. The front foot and knee point straight ahead. The hips are as far forward and down as they'll go, and the torso is up and back as much as it will go. Feel the sense of openness in the chest and the belly, and breathe into that openness. With the exhale, release to the bottom of your push-up, and vinyasa back to down dog. You'll notice from here on, I will skip most of the vinyasas because if I don't, I'll have trouble speaking and teaching the class effectively. Now let's bring the feet to touch, and we'll inhale the left leg up and back. Bending the knee, we again bring the knee out to the side and all the way in against our belly and then back behind us. Doing a few in that direction and then reversing it and doing a few in the opposite direction. And most importantly, paying attention to how that feels. Let's take a deep breath, and as we exhale, place the foot between the hands and inhale to low lunge, Anjaneyasana, taking a few breaths here. Notice your breathing. And again, notice if you're waiting for the cue to come out of this pose. If you are waiting, then you are not really fully present. Take a nice deep breath and exhale to the bottom of your push-up, making your way back to downward facing dog. From downward dog, take a deep breath, and as you exhale, release down into tabletop. In tabletop, we'll take a look at what's called the bird dog. To do the bird dog, I inhale and bring my right leg back behind me, placing the toes on the ground, as you can see. What's important is that my hip does not drop or lift as I bring the leg behind me. As I exhale, I bring the leg back in and inhale the opposite leg. Exhale and inhale. Continuing with the breath, what you'd like to do is imagine that you have a cup of tea balancing on your pelvis or sacrum. If your hips rock from side to side as you bring the leg behind you, the tea will spill all over your back. Lifting the leg behind you is fairly easy to do. Doing so with the proper alignment is much more difficult. To do this, you need both awareness and control of the core abdominal muscles. While this variation is relatively easy, other variations that we'll explore throughout the class become much more challenging. Finish up with the left leg behind you, and then either vinyasa or go straight back to down dog, depending on how much energy you have and how hard you want to work during today's class. From the down dog, let's inhale to our toes, and as we exhale, we will step, jump, or float to the front edge of the mat. With the inhale, we come up to standing back bend, and as we exhale, we bring our arms out in front of us. This is called the drinking bird. To do drinking bird, we will bring the right leg behind us several times. Take a deep breath in and exhale, touch the ground as the right leg goes up toward the ceiling. I keep lifting the right leg until I feel a stretch in the back of my left thigh. Once I feel that, I inhale and come back up. Exhaling, I repeat the same exact movement. Inhale back up. Continuing with the breath. Exhaling down and inhaling back up. Each time finding the stretch in the back of the left thigh. Good. Switching legs, drinking bird. Take a deep breath and exhale, left leg behind you. Inhale back up. Continue with the breath. Good. Inhale all the way back up to standing back bend. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale to half lift. You could also do crow pose here. And exhale, step, jump, or float to the bottom of your push-up. Inhale to up dog. And exhale, take a push-up on your way back out to downward dog. From downward dog, let's bring our feet to touch. We'll inhale the right leg up and back to three-legged dog. Flex the foot and point the toes, knee, and hip down. Lift the leg as high as you can. Then take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, touch the right knee as high up on the right arm as you can. Inhale that leg up and back. Exhale again, try and touch the knee even higher up the arm. Inhale the leg up and back. One last time, even higher up. Inhale, lift the leg, and exhale as you lunge. Inhale up to low lunge. And then exhale as you fold over the front leg in half triangle. The hip should be over the knee. Right leg straight, the toes and knee pointing straight up. Folding over the leg, you should feel a stretch here, much like we felt in Drinking Bird, except now we are taking a static stretch, still stretch. Breathing into the back of the thigh, releasing any tension that might live in that part of the body. With your inhale, rock forward into low lunge, and then exhale to the bottom of your push-up, making your way back to downward dog. In downward dog, we'll again bring the feet to touch and inhale the left leg up and back. From three-legged dog, we take a nice deep breath in and exhale as we touch the knee as high up on the left arm as we can. Inhaling the leg up and back, we try and touch even higher. And then inhaling, we touch even higher. Inhale the leg up and back, and exhale into low lunge. From low lunge, exhale into half triangle, Urdhva Trikonasana. Good. From here, let's inhale as we come up and exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to downward facing dog. From downward dog, let's go ahead and exhale to tabletop, and we'll take a look at the bird dog again. Bird dog is done more or less with the spine in neutral, so we neither want the tailbone lifted nor the back rounded. So we just come to a natural neutral spine. We really should not feel the back at all. From here, on the inhale, I lift the leg up. Notice my heel. It's as though I'm trying to press my heel through the wall behind me. As I exhale, I bring the leg back down. Inhale, left side. Exhale, bring it down. Once again, this is a relatively simple and easy move to do, but it's harder when you try and do it without rocking or lifting or dropping your hips. Finish up with the left leg behind you, and then Vinyasa or go straight back to downward dog. From downward dog, inhale to your toes, look between the hands, and as you exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of your mat. So you inhale, come all the way up to standing back bend, and as you exhale, release your hands to your hips. Let's take a look at Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Facing the front of our mat, let's shift the weight to our left foot. We'll bend the right knee as we transfer weight to the left side. If this is already difficult for you to do, you may remain here or maybe just lift the foot slightly in case you lose your balance. However, if possible, draw the leg up and grab hold of the shin with your right hand. Try and maintain your balance. If this is easy, reach down and grab either the big toe or the outside edge of your right foot. Notice how I lean forward to do that. Even though I lean forward to grab the foot, once I have the foot, I need to stand tall again. Once again, I could remain here, or with the next exhale, extend the leg out straight, pulling the leg toward me and stretching the hamstrings on the right side. To release, keep the leg lifted and inhale the arm up. Exhale, the hand to the hip and the leg to the ground. Let's do the other side. Switching the weight over to the right foot, we bend the left knee. Again, this might be enough, or this might be enough if I feel really unstable. However, many will be able to lift the leg and come to this position. Again, you can take it further and add in the flexibility as well. To release, keep the leg lifted. Inhale the arm up and exhale, hand to your hip, leg to the ground. From the front edge of your mat, inhale arms up, back bend, and exhale forward fold. Inhale half lift, crow, or maybe handstand, and exhale bottom of your push-up. From the downward dog, let's bring our feet to touch. We'll inhale the right leg up and back. So we exhale, we place the foot between the hands and then bring both hands inside of the foot and drop down into lizard. Urdhva Prasarita. The hips are as far forward and down as they'll go, and the torso is as far down as it will go. If you can't quite reach the ground, you can stay up on your hands or rest on a block. You should feel something in your hip and your right leg. Breathe deeply and slowly and feel any tension in that part of your body begin to dissolve. Then, from here, bring one hand on either side of the foot. Have the foot and the knee pointing straight ahead. Take the back toes and tuck them under and lift the knee off the ground, pressing the heel toward the ground. With the next inhale, raise your arms forward. Exhale here, and with the next inhale, come up into crescent lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. In Ashtha Chandrasana, you should feel a stretch at the front of the left hip. Draw the left hip forward and the right hip back. Again, see if you can relax into this position using just enough energy to be here without coming out of the pose or altering it in any way. The adjustments we make are inside, not outside. From here, we'll take a nice deep breath and exhale either to the bottom of a push-up or this pose, Eka Padasana, one-legged crow pose, first variation. Again, making your way back to downward dog. From downward dog, bring our feet to touch. Inhale the left leg up and back, and exhale into lizard. From lizard, let's go ahead and bring one hand on either side of the front foot. The foot and the knee point straight ahead. We tuck the back toes and we lift the knee up. Then on our inhale, we reach forward first. And then with the next inhale, come up into crescent lunge. With the exhale, take the bottom of your push-up or the arm balance, Eka Padasana, first variation. Shoot back and make your way back to downward facing dog. From downward dog, with the exhale, release to tabletop. Now, feel free to stay with any of the variations of bird dog that we've already learned, especially if you find them challenging. Otherwise, now we'll add the arm. Inhale the right leg up and extend the left arm. Exhale, bring them back in. Inhale, lift, and exhale back down. Once again, it's relatively simple to do this incorrectly, where the hip lifts way up and the shoulder drops down on each side. Much harder to do this with integrity and alignment. What this is doing for us is training and teaching our core muscles to stabilize both halves of our body. This is something that we need to maintain health. And health is something we need to maintain happiness throughout our life. So simple core strengthening and coordinating exercises like this are absolutely vital to keep doing for the rest of our lives. Finishing up with the left leg behind you. Again, Vinyasa or go straight back to down dog. From down dog, let's inhale to our toes. As we exhale, we make our way to the front edge of the mat. Inhaling up to standing. Exhale, hands to hips. Let's take a look at Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, second variation. To do this variation, we will once again shift weight to our right foot and bend the left knee. I have all the same options, and you are welcome to repeat that first variation if it was very, very challenging for you. To take it a step further, whether the leg is straight or bent, extend the right arm to the right and extend the left leg out to the left. For more challenge, look to your right over your fingertips. So you inhale, bring it back to center, and exhale, release. Other side, same thing. Finding some challenge. So if you always, anytime this is offered, you do the same exact thing, and you know that you're going to do it perfectly every time, then it is time to try something new. That is if you are not doing the most difficult variation that's offered, obviously. So inhale back to center, and we exhale as we release the pose. Inhale, standing back bend, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way to down dog. From down dog, inhale the right leg up and back, and exhale to lizard. From lizard pose, take the right leg and put it over your right shoulder. Place both hands under the shoulders, look up, and try lifting your right foot, straightening the right leg as much as possible. On the exhale, place the foot back down. Again, bring one hand on either side of that foot. Tucking the back toes. Inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, the arms out like wings. Take a nice deep breath and exhale, transition to airplane. Lift the back leg up, flex the foot so the toes, knee, and hip point down. Try and bring the leg and torso parallel with the ground. Take a deep breath and exhale, sweep the arms forward. Warrior 3. For more challenge, bend the right knee and come into a half squat. Exhale and release the pose, coming back to downward dog. From down dog, bring feet to touch and inhale the left leg up and back. Exhale and lunge, coming down into lizard. From lizard, take the left leg and place it over your shoulder. Inhale, lift the left foot off the ground as best as you can. Placing the foot back on the ground, one hand on either side of that foot. Inhale to crescent. Exhale, grow some wings. Take a deep breath in, and with the next exhale, come into airplane. Get the torso and leg in position, and then sweep the arms into position as well. Warrior 3. Again, for more challenge, bend the standing leg. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to downward dog. From downward dog, let's exhale back into tabletop. From tabletop, tuck the toes and lift the knees just slightly. From here, on the inhale, extend the right leg behind you and try and lift the left arm. Exhale, bring them back down, and inhale other side.
Again, this is bird dog. This is a more challenging variation of it. Same idea. The hips and shoulders remain stationary as the arm and the leg lift. You can see that I'm doing a very poor job of that. My hips are lifting up. This is very common. And what that means is I have plenty of room for growth in this variation. And I want that. That means that my body can continue to strengthen, to grow, and to learn, which will help to keep it healthy and strong. If I keep doing the same old things in the same old way, things I already know how to do that I can do easily, it does not help my body to grow younger. Again, finishing up with the left leg behind, Vinyasa, or go straight back to downward dog. From down dog, we'll inhale to our toes, and as we exhale, make our way to the front edge of the mat. From here, we inhale to standing back bend, and exhale, hands to the hips. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana C. Bending the right knee. Instead of using the right hand, I use the left hand. I can hold the shin, or again, the toe or the foot. Whether you're holding a shin or the foot, take a deep breath, and as you exhale, extend the right arm behind you and look toward that arm. If you're holding the foot or the toe, try and extend the right leg in front of you, taking a nice deep spinal twist. Inhale, come on back to center, and exhale as you release the pose. Side two. Shifting weight to the right foot and bending the left knee. Again, shin or foot. Take a deep breath in and exhale, twist. Inhale, come on back, and exhale, release. Inhale, standing back bend, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, bottom of the push-up. Okay, from here, we'll bring the feet to touch. Inhale, right leg up and back. Whoops. And as you exhale, place the leg on the arm, straighten it, and lift the back leg for Eka Padasana, first variation. Then inhale the leg up and back, and exhale as you lunge. Inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, grow some wings. Take a deep breath there. And with the next exhale, warrior three. From warrior three, take a deep breath and exhale to standing splits. Lift the back leg toward the sky and walk your hands toward the standing leg. If you can, grab the ankle with both hands, bringing the right side of your belly and chest toward your right thigh. If you're a standing splits person, this could be a position for jumping up into standing splits, if you can do that safely. From here, take a nice deep breath in and exhale to the bottom of your push-up. Same thing, other side. Feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, Eka Padasana, first variation. Then inhale the leg up and back, lift it high. And exhale, lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, grow some wings. Take a deep breath. Exhale, warrior three. Take another deep breath. and then exhale to standing splits. Standing splits requires flexibility, strength, and coordination. Good. Inhale and exhale, bottom of your push-up, making your way to down dog. From here, we'll exhale again to tabletop. Let's take one last look at the bird dog. Coming into a plank position, inhale, lift the right leg and extend the left arm. Exhale, leg and arm down. Inhale, other side. Exhale. Once again, you can see I'm far from perfect when doing this. I don't do this to be perfect or to show anyone how perfect I am. I do this to coax my body to become stronger and healthier. And that is exactly what I can do by doing this. This is why it's called a yoga practice and not a yoga performance. Finishing up on the left side. From there, make your way back to downward dog. From downward dog, inhale to the toes and exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of your mat. Inhale up to standing back bend and exhale to forward fold. Once you're there, walk your feet out a little wider than shoulder width. Bend the knees. Bring your arms underneath your legs like you're putting on a backpack. Then bring your hands behind your feet and drop your hips as you raise your gaze. Begin by experimenting with lifting one leg at a time. If you're able to do that, try lifting both legs together. If you can lift both legs, try straightening the legs as much as possible. If you're able to do all of that, from the front of your mat, with your legs straight, try shooting back to the bottom of your push-up. Take a vinyasa and make your way to downward dog. Okay, from the front of our mat, let's inhale to standing back bend. Release the pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, go ahead and take a seat. All right, from here, let's inhale, sit nice and tall, extend the arms up. As we exhale, we'll come into forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Keeping the arms with the ears, inhale and come on up. Exhale, the hands behind you, fingers pointing toward the buttocks, hands below the shoulders. Point the toes and inhale, lift the hips for Purvottanasana. If it feels okay, let your chin go back, lift the hips even higher. Exhale, bring the hips down. And then inhale, extend the arms out in front of you. And as you exhale, gradually roll back onto your back. Once you're there, bring the legs in and give them a nice squeeze. Rock a few times from side to side, forward and back. Make a few circles with your knees. Do a few in one direction and then a few in the opposite direction. Then extend your arms out like a T and keep the legs together as you drop them to the left. Look to your right. Let the breath be natural now. Inhale, knees back through center, and exhale the legs down to the other side. Remember to look away from the knees and let gravity do the work for you. Inhale, drawing knees back to center. Let's grab the soles of our feet for happy baby. Pulling down on the feet like we're trying to get our knees to the ground. There, you can play around with straightening the legs one at a time or both together. Pulling them apart or pulling them overhead, stretching your back, rolling around on your back. And when you're ready, unwinding into Shavasana, resting on your back. As usual, I'll recommend that you spend the next 6 minutes or so, which is 10% of our class. Our class is about an hour. So spend the next 6 minutes just resting in stillness and silence, relatively speaking. As always, if there are any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. You can reach me on my website, mahapathayoga.com, or Patreon page, Facebook page. However you can get in touch. Email is fine. I am doing some outdoor yoga with hikes. So a lot of people do not feel safe right now practicing in a yoga studio, which I understand. I am teaching in studios as well. So if you do feel comfortable, feel free to come on out. But if you don't, I'm doing these outdoor events. So if you'd like to know more about that, send me your information, your cell phone number, and your first and last name, and I'll put you on the list. I'm coordinating all that via text because it's really the best way to do that. It's wonderful weather right now to be out hiking and doing yoga outdoors. So I hope you can come join us for at least once for that. Anyway, I want to thank you both for joining me today. I hope you got a lot from your practice, and I'll look forward to seeing you either in yin yoga in 15 minutes or next week, or maybe out on the trail sometime soon. Thank you. Namaste.